Actually,
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Yeah. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, thirst trap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, thirst trap. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
hey,
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. And welcome to another episode of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. I am your host and one of your three hosts, Marcus Farrell. Marcus Farrell live on YouTube. Thanks for everybody watching us. Welcome to another episode of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. You already know how it go, how we get down.
Squirrel Gang, put them squirrels up in the chat.
Squirrel Gang, Trap Squad. Like, let me see them acorns, them squirrels. Look, we're gonna. Mondale is not here. He's on CP time, and we love him for it. And I just want to pass it over to my co-host, Benjamin Dixon. Ben,
Hey, man.
How's it going, brother?
Man, it's going, man. I'm just drifting on a memory. Ain't no place I'd rather be. I can't really finish the rest of that because then it would sound like I'm singing it to you. You know what I mean? Smoother than a gentle breeze, flowing through my mind with ease. It's just stuff old black folk do, man. Old black men sit in garages and listen to some old soul music like the Isley Brothers. That's the kind of day I'm having. I'm having an old black man day.
Hey, man, ain't nothing. Listen, that sounds like an amazing day, right? Like, you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about Prototype for some strange reason. I didn't fall. I'm not like going ham for anybody, but I just thought about the song Prototype.
Okay.
Today. Right, like Outkast, Andre 3000,
yeah,
Alien Man, and all that stuff. So, listen, man, I think we're gonna have an interesting topic. We already got a couple of interesting topics. We already talked before we went live a little bit about one of the biggest topics of the day, and not today, but it happened last week, and we didn't have an opportunity to address it on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap last week. Mondale should be joining us sometime soon. I know wherever he is, he has an alert on his phone for whenever we go live. So at some point, he will be joining us. I can guarantee you. And if he doesn't, then me and Ben will hold it down, man. Listen, before we even get started, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to all of the channels that are associated with this show. Marcus Farrell live on YouTube, Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, and also the Ben Dixon channel, one of the motherships of progressive politics as we go into the year of our Lord 2025 and continue in our year. Let's talk about it. Listen, Chuck Schumer last week, man. Chuck Schumer voted for the spending bill, Trump's spending bill, and he's received a lot of flack and a lot of heat for it.
as he should.
And there are a lot of Democrats, whether elected officials or definitely the progressive side of the house, not even the progressive side. Now you're even seeing neoliberals say, okay, well, come on, bro. We could have fought a little bit harder than that. Our friend Chuck Schumer, AIPAC extraordinaire, decided that he was going to go out of his way to make sure that Trump's spending bill and they weren't going to have a government shutdown. That was his excuse. Now, my personal viewpoints on this before I pass it over to Ben is very simple. I'm sick and tired of Democrats. I am sick and tired of the Democratic Party. And I don't care what anybody says about third-party voting, independent voting, the last election, and who caused Trump administration, because all of that shit is cap. When you have your top Democrat, one of your top Democrats, if not, we can say Chuck Schumer is the top Democrat elected official in America right now. We can say that because he leads the Senate Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to show the weakness of Jerry, Rick and Morty's Rick's son-in-law and Morty's dad, for him to show that kind of incompetence as a leader lets me know that this is not a party that I want to belong to much longer. I'm not making an announcement saying I'm officially leaving the Democratic Party, but this is definitely taking me well on my way. And here's the reason why. What's the point of having a Democrat? What's the point of being an opposition party if you're going to let the Trump administration do exactly what they want when they want without any pushback? Okay. My viewpoint is this, and it's very simple. When Obamacare was trying to get passed, they were willing to shut down the government. They have the Republican Party, whenever Democrats are in office, do shut down the government for at least 7 days each administration, if not more, right? They are an opposition party to the progressive left, not even to the progressive left, to the left in general. So for us to not even show the effort, the anger, the fight from top down, that means people either need to be replaced or I need to go somewhere else personally. Me. I don't know what you're going to do, but I think I need to go somewhere else at this point because it's pointless to have me be in the same party. And I'm wearing my red, black, and green today, so I might be real pro-black. But it's pointless for me to be in the same party with a Chuck Schumer. It makes me feel like someone who's at the highest level has the complete disregard for the amount of fight that I know it's going to take. And also, you're not motivating anyone to be a part of the Democratic Party. You're not motivating anyone to actually want to stand up and have any version of resistance. But it makes sense. Because, see, here's the thing. Chuck Schumer is a multi-millionaire. Mm-hmm. Chuck Schumer has been playing golf with Trump before Trump even thought about running for office. Chuck Schumer and Donald Trump are of the same ilk. They are of the same ilk, and I am tired of playing games like these guys and this party actually want to do anything to help working class people in America. Ben, I just got to pass to you on that.
Well, I'm going to agree with you as well as disagree with you, but let's start where we agree because I'm putting this guy on the screen now. And you got folks like Gavin Newsom, who, I'll make sure I got it on the screen properly. Nope, it's not on the screen, is it? Here it is. Gavin Newsom, who hosted this guy, Steve Bannon. And this was a week after Gavin Newsom went on with Charlie Kirk. Very similar to Cenk Uygur and them doing what they do with MAGA. And so from that perspective, I agree with you 100%, man. What good is the power structure that is the Democratic Party if their core figures, not that Cenk is a core figure, but Gavin Newsom's trying to run for president in 2028. And he flirting with MAGA like this. What's the point of us fighting MAGA if they're going to go and cozy up to MAGA? What's the point of us fighting Donald Trump if those people with power bend the knee? This is one of the reasons I'm not promoting anybody to go protest nothing right now. Nothing. Now, white folks, y'all go protest because, y'all got some years of protest still in you, some good years. But for the rest of us, I suggest we sit back and watch what the Democratic Party is going to do before we do give them any of our energy, any of it. Don't mean we sit back and let Donald Trump go unchallenged, but it does mean that we don't channel our energy through the Democratic Party. Why when when Dana Bash here in this interview, she had to be the one to call out the lies that Steve Bannon said directly to Gavin Newsom, who wants to be the Democratic nominee in 2028, lying about the 2020 campaign. Still can't admit that the 2020 campaign was lost and that the big lie was a big lie. He instead of correcting him, he just laughed it up and chuck, ha, 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 kiki. Same thing with Chuck Schumer and the rest of the 9 Democrats who voted for the continuing resolution. Same thing for the 10 Democrats. What's that cat name? Moskowitz, the Congressman Moskowitz, who always on Midas Touch. Those 10 Democrats that voted to censure Al Green. What solidarity we got with them? I'm gonna tell you, I got none. I got none with them. Now, where I disagree with you is I do think that I think there's so many factors that play into Donald Trump winning this thing, including the Democratic Party. But I also think that a lot of the third party movements that exist right now, they have never done. Green Party ain't done what it need to do to be what we need them to be right now. Just got to call a spade a spade. They really haven't. And they've had opportunities with Jill Stein since 2016. She's been running since 2016. She just pop her head up every 4 years and like the political cicada she is. And so that really leaves us in a bad spot. Well, I'll tell you what I've been talking with a whole bunch of black men today, which I'm so glad I get to close out the evening with some black men. I'm tired of leaving our destiny up to these white folks in the first place. I'm tired of our political and our economic and even right now our security, our safety as black people, dependent on whether or not good white folks are going to fight the bad white folks. I'm tired of that. Black folk don't need that no more. Now we could participate in their politics because I think is what we should do. We don't just give up our franchise. We don't voluntarily say I'm not participating because what sense that make? But at the same time, if we as black folks don't inextricably detangle our political destinies from white folks, love every single white folk in our audience. You know, I think I got more white folks in my audience right now than black folks, right? That's because we ain't turning on the black engine all the way. We could crank that thing up to 10 in a minute. Play some Outkast every Sunday. we'll be blacker than black. But politically speaking, not when I see white folks who could turn around and censure Al Green when he the only one with the testicular and the ovary fortitude to stand up to Donald Trump. And then you got 10 Democrats that voted. Not when we got 10 Democrats that give Donald Trump what he needs with the continuing resolution. Not when we've had Democrats who fund the genocide in Gaza. Not when we had Democrats who vote against Medicare for all, or vote against our best economic interests. Not when we have had Democrats who have shown us throughout time that they ain't never really been serious about black folks politics, what we need. Okay. Now, I don't see a third party, but I definitely don't see us giving and letting our destinies be tied to the Democratic Party.
Well, so Benjamin, Pastor, look, man, what are we going to do then? And what I mean by that is a very simple thought process. There have been record numbers of independents and Democrats actually losing registration and actually going over to become independents, right? This is so far this year has been one of the largest years of people actually turning into independent since the 60s, right? Fundamentally tying ourselves to white folks is tying ourselves to the Democratic Party. Fundamentally at this point, because the Democrats that have power are still pretty much led by white folks. I mean, you could include Hakeem Jeffries in there, but when it comes down to Hakeem Jeffries' politics is a white Democrat's politics.
The AIPAC politic.
AIPAC politics. It's not. So how can we continue? It's the definition of insanity, Ben. You repeat the same thing. Oh, are we expected to repeat the same thing over and over again, even with proper organizing efforts like the Justice Democrats and so many reform movements that have happened in between the Democratic Party, and then seeing leadership and seeing decision makers and seeing the DNC and seeing the Tiffany's of MSNBC get replaced by the Simone Sanders of MSNBC, and the loudest and most courageous voices of our party speaking about working class issues. That wasn't a bill that was anywhere close to working class issues. And let me say something more important. In the aftermath of the Donald Trump election, which I don't feel like talking about that much, but I'm going to bring this up. Your first major move as a party leader, your first major move in the party that I'm supposed to be affiliated with is to agree with this guy's spending bill. The time you had to show America that you could possibly resist, even with the fraction of power that Democrats have right now. If I look at myself, Ben, if I think about myself, I think about myself as a warrior. Whether political, in life, on the streets. I've been homeless. I'm a veteran. I've been broke. I've been wealthy. Well, rich, not wealthy. If I was wealthy, different conversation. But I've had a lot of money. I've been through situations in life. I know that the price of eggs still affects me right now, where I don't want to go and pay $6 for eggs because of inflation. And this guy right here, whatever, he's in the same party as me. He's representing my issues. No, he's not. He's not talking about the things that I care about. First, and second off, he's actually just bending over for the Trump administration. I don't want to be a part of that. I understand the Green Party, but we got to start somewhere. And I understand the Green Party has lower numbers. I understand, but I know that there's more independents in Arizona, and I know there's more independents in Georgia, and I know there's a hell of a lot of independents in Florida, and I know that we have to tie ourselves to something that's actually going to fight for us, or we're going to die on a hill of Democratic nonsense. Yeah. Because we got to stop thinking that we can expect fundamental change from these people when time and time again they keep showing us the same shit.
Yeah. But I'd extend that over to the Green Party as well. Green Party is a party of white politics. I know they had a couple of black faces. They have a couple of black faces that they interject for the sake of the black revolutionary spirit. Not knocking those brothers. The last two vice presidential picks, I had some issues with Buchanan Buck. With some of his politics, but this ain't about them, not knocking them. I'm knocking the power structure that is behind the Green Party. And you mentioned the Justice Democrats, same power structure behind them. Every one of these major progressive organizations, it's a white power, white economic, white political power structure.
Let me take away the Green Party power structure, right? And also, I'll say this right here, as black folks, just a thought. Being a part of something new versus being used for votes, and then none of our issues are being talked about. We might as well be independents. We have to actually be politically independent at this point as black people. So forget the Green Party for a second. Let's talk about independence. Let's talk about like the non-party affiliation, because
actually, I would say go further and actually some of this, there's a point where we should cut off and not talk about it publicly. You know that line as well as I do, because some of it we don't need to give. But I would say just take it completely away from electoral politics in terms of our organizing and our thinking, right? Use it and wield it for electoral politics, but not center electoral politics. I think we need to be organizing every black institution, every single black church, every single black barbershop, and organize outside of an election cycle, or even because a lot of things that turn people off, you know this more than me, is when they just come around for elections. And that's been the number one MO of the Democratic Party. And I'll say that to all of their faces. Y'all only cut on the organizing power of the Black community every 4 years. So just like Green Party show, just like Jill Stein is a political cicada, that organizing power that you see snap on and reach down into every aspect of the Black community, where you start seeing flyers in every beauty salon, you see mailers in beauty supply stores, at the chicken spot. They only cut that on every 4 years.
Yard signs on Campbellton. And,
come on.
Yeah. No, see, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Ben. There's also the aspect of how we approach organizing. First off, I want to say that even what you just said is dead. They didn't even do that last presidential cycle. You ain't see no presence of anybody in the hood. You ain't see presence of Harris or
definitely not like 2020.
Not like Biden, not like Obama. We're not seeing any of that. And I mean, our elected officials right now, like, it's funny. I want to point this out, and I don't care what anybody got to say about this and who says it, right? Because we tend to ostracize the people that have a Black agenda. Right? Just follow what I'm saying. Whoever it is. It's only certain people that are allowed to have a Black agenda or even attempt to have a Black agenda. Ice Cube, whoever the hell else. Like, and we've talked about on this show. So I want to take away the person, and I want to talk about a Black agenda. But when you talk about a Black agenda, the general thought process is, you're crazy for having a Black agenda. You're crazy for wanting things for Black people. The funny part about having a Black agenda is when you have a Black agenda, you are affecting all of America in a positive aspect. So Democrats and people who talk, because a lot of people who have a Black agenda really don't understand the nuance of politics, but there are people who have a Black agenda that should be expressed and not ostracized. But I've been in party meetings. I've been in Democratic Party meetings across the nation. I've been in conversations and meetings where from the grass top gatekeeping Black people, meeting with Bernie Sanders and Jesse Jackson, and from the rooms where organizers have been storming the governor's office, talking about Black people issues, and it all gets ostracized. That pivotal moment when in the 60s and 70s, when they killed off all of our leaders and replaced these people with the gatekeeper class. They gave a couple of people power and money and said, stay in your lane. And we've gotten so used to that staying in our lane that there is no longer a Black agenda. The Black agenda to white folks is, what did Jim Clyburn say? The Black agenda now is Chuck Schumer tell somebody else to tell Congressperson somebody that you need to say this to the Black people. Because I know damn well for sure that if the top of the list, the top thing that was on Chuck Schumer's mind was, these motherfuckers are about to cut Medicaid for Black grannies, Medicare for Black grannies, Black grandpapas, Black uncles, white aunties, then Chuck Schumer would have had a Black agenda in mind to make sure that he fought tooth and nail against the Trump administration, to make sure that there was healthy Black families by fighting against this spending bill that's basically a cut bill. So how can we keep, and I'm having a moment, Clickbaity. I'm having a moment, Trap Squad. I've been thinking about this all week. I'm having my moment right now. Because how can I be affiliated with doing this? And then you said Gavin Newsom. I'm going off for a second. Just give me a second, Ben. You said Gavin Newsom. You said Gavin Newsom, right? Let me tell you about this white boy Gavin Newsom over in California. One of the first state legislatures in America to ever introduce a reparations bill and had the votes for it, got nixed by the Newsom administration because he was afraid that if that bill made it to his desk, that he would have to sign it, and it was going to put him in a political problem, so he won't be able to run for president. But guess what, though? Guess what? 3 years from now, if he gets the nomination, guess what I'm supposed to do as Democrat? We gotta do better than this, bro.
Yeah. And this is why I say 100%. We got to sever it from the four. We need what needs to happen this week, this month, in organizing Black Power. We have some fundamental divides in the Black community that makes sense. I'm not even going to look at us and say we've been divided and conquered. I say we have some fundamental disagreements that have to be addressed in terms of Black Power and organizing Black Power. I think that there is a divide between the different populations of Black folks. You have your Black elders down to your Black religious folks. You have your non-Black religious folks that they ain't been seen inside of a church and don't care to go see one. You have the Black revolutionary class, but you also have the Black bourgeoisie class who are just as woke as anybody else, but they want to, they choose not to be. They choose. They pick and choose when.
They pick and choose when. It's performative wokeness. It's performative wokeness. It's not organic.
But I'll say the same thing about that Black revolutionary class too. Some of it is extremely performative. Now I know we got some true, and I separate this group from everybody else. Those who actually go out there and sacrifice and do and give. And like there's some sisters I see on TikTok who, despite almost being homeless themselves, they out there feeding other people. Those type of folks who, like, that's true revolutionary stuff. When you don't have power, you don't know how to get power, but you're still out there doing what you can do. Because there's some Black revolutionary folks who are just as wealthy as the bourgeois class and just as performative as the bourgeois class. They might talk a better game, right? But at the end of the day, where's the organized power? We've all been scratching and clawing and we have been divided. But I think I agree with you 100% on when that division came in. That division came in a long time ago when they shot down our leaders and put in the managers. Good.
Malcolm X said it. Even though who he was talking about when he mentioned Dick Gregory ended up being the leader that he was. But at the time, Malcolm said, what? They are putting celebrities and athletes as the leaders of the Black community. He said it in real time while it was going on, and they killed him, Martin, our brother in Chicago, Hampton. Finally got Huey P. Look, I'm not against what you're saying, Ben, but like, and then I think about the future. I think about like the young folks, man. The young folks. Who are we passing? Like, and it's crazy because I've gone to some Atlanta Democratic meetings and Atlanta like Democratic political functions and stuff like that. And the scariest shit to see is the young neoliberals, the young Black folks who think that this is the way. You know what I mean? That's not the way. I'm a Mandalorian. That's not the way. That's not the way. You know what I mean? Like Mandalorians, we don't use sabers unless it's the black one, dog.
But
we don't use sabers unless it's the black one.
Let me throw something else out to you though. You want to know where the real money is at? You want to know where the real power is gathering? Not true Black power, but it got Black folks on top of it. Black MAGA. The money they about to run your boy Byron Donalds. They about to run him down in Florida for governor. Yeah. They're gonna put him up to be like they're gonna sell him. They're gonna have every Black church that they can get inside of. They don't need every Black church. They're gonna get like 5 Black churches that like him, and they're gonna show him in the pulpit of those Black churches, and they're gonna start branding him MAGA Black. Right? When you said those young neoliberals, I think those young neoliberals include some young maggots. You know, those young black MAGAs who know they can get the bag through the black. So here we have one side that is the managerial class that has kind of presided over the decline of black solidarity over the last 60 years, right? Those are the Democrats. And now you have the ascendancy of this black MAGAism, where they have enough money to give the appearance that they speak for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of black folks, when in reality, they only speak for about 20 of them, right? They mainly supported by white folks.
And they're losing, and the black church is losing support.
Yeah.
As you well know more than anyone else in this country. Here's my issue. Here's my issue though, right? Like, how can we, let me level set and why I brought this up under Chuck Schumer, right? The Congressional Black Caucus, yes, Jasmine has said something. There has been other black elected officials have said something, right? But the Congressional Black Caucus should have drug him as a human. Yeah. When the congressman was kicked out of the address by Trump, the Congressional Black Caucus
should have got up with him.
Got up with him and held out all the votes and made it a racial issue, not against the Republicans, but against the Democrats. Look, man, what game are we what game are we playing right now, man? And I'm talking about this Democratic game, bro.
A leaderless game. A leaderless game, but you gotta, but the key component is, Marcus, the black leadership class, the misleadership class is what's our brothers over there? That it escapes me where I got that's from over there at the Black Agenda Report. My friends over the Black Agenda Report, they used to kill it with that black misleadership class. It was the most true thing they ever say. It was a black misleadership class that never had and never used they never had the access to black folks that they thought they had, because they had to go through white consultants to reach their own black constituents. So the black misleadership class wasn't really leadership because they never controlled their own constituency and access to them. And then they're a black misleadership class because they never really cared to execute a black agenda, right?
I mean,
that's
you know how easy.
What it is.
I'm sorry. You know how, Ben, you know how easy it is for black MAGA to get black churches and black people to vote for them now? Because even if the Democrats, they don't even give bags out no more. They don't even give bags out. I can't, ain't no money in these streets. As a campaign manager for damn near 20 years of politics, let me tell you what I kept a couple thousand for in every campaign. The hood. I kept a couple thousand for the hood to spread around for my candidate. We don't even have bags for that anymore. I cannot see, and here's the thing. The unfortunate part about this is this happens directly after the election, where, you know, when we first restarted Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, I was completely like, man, I ain't dealing with these people no more. Then I said, you know what, we need to fight. We need to register. We need to go and become involved. And I'm still on that. But then I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
It needs to be done outside of the context. It needs to be done for this. I didn't argue with my brother, but we've been talking about this extensively. It needs to exist outside of the Democratic Party, and wherever we so choose to take our collective vote, whatever percent of people go, black folks gonna do what black folks want to do, right? But if our power exists outside of the Democratic Party, outside of electoral, see, we need to have this organizing out for beyond political reasons, right? We need this organizing so that we can locally be able to drill down and help a local community address the issue that's happening in their local community. We can't do that. Why? Because all of the email lists, all of the listservs, all of the data, all the information is locked up for elections. We need to use it for elections, but black folks, we need this for so much more than just politics.
It's not just locked up for elections. It's accessible right now. It's just that Chuck Schumer. See, this is something that I tweeted this, and you might have saw it. People don't realize how powerful Chuck Schumer really is. See, a lot of people think that Chuck Schumer is this guy that is just a political figure that can make rules and implement his political power. What you don't understand is that the donor class of the Democrats and the left, they asked Chuck Schumer, who what he thinks. They run their money through Chuck Schumer sometimes through the DSCC. They actually ask him for advice when it comes down to the candidates that they want to donate to, the organizations that they want to donate to. When it was hot and Black Lives Matter was cool, Chuck Schumer was all about donating to Black Lives Matter, right? And then all this money came in, and I don't know what the hell went on with it. Love you, Alicia, but like that ain't my business. I ain't gonna get into that. But what I am saying is that Chuck Schumer is one of the reasons why Democrats lose elections. Think about it for a second. And I'm going to tell you a personal experience from this right here. When I was in Nebraska, running Dan Osborne's Political Action Committee, we had a political action committee called Nebraska Railroaders for Public Safety. We were there before another PAC came in. Another PAC came in because Chuck Schumer wanted some of his white boys' friends to get the television money. That race ended up spending somewhere between $8 to $17 million on television. $8 to $17 million on television. It got to the point where the candidate, some of the people in town were like, I can't even watch a Coca-Cola commercial because every commercial was a Deb Fisher, Dan Osborne commercial. So much money was being spent. Who made that decision? We needed more money for field. We needed money to put people on the ground to knock on doors. And we did end up getting enough money to do it. But imagine what I would have been able to do with a couple more millions of dollars. You give me $1 million in Omaha, Nebraska, I could have hired the people who were voting at that point, right? But that much money went on television, right? And whose decision was that? Chuck Schumer. And that's just one state, one cycle. Yeah. All over the nation, there's races, whether congressional, local, senatorial races, where he has that kind of power. And you wonder why Democrats lose. Because that's the mentality they have. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about that. Had there been an anti-Israel aspect in that spending bill that Trump, it would have been shut down city.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey man, you're watching Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap. I am one of your two hosts, Marcus Farrell, all the way live with Ben Dixon. Man, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this channel. Please go over to my channel. That's right down there, Marcus Farrell Live on YouTube. And make sure you like and subscribe. Tomorrow morning, I got Savvy Sabs as my guest on my show, talking about all kinds of issues and probably continuing this conversation. Also on the Clickbaity channel, please like and subscribe, share. Ben, I know you got some stories, man. I didn't want to switch up the topics, but you got some.
Nah, man, look. No, I think that's the right topic to stay on. I think the conversation has to be fleshed out because, I mean, let me push you a little bit. I still think, even though Chuck Schumer is Chuck Schumer, I think we got to remove ourselves from even thinking about them. The Black power structure has to exist completely separate of the American political system. We should use it for the American political system on command, on demand, at our own discretion, on our own time, at our own will. But we should not be put in a position where another white person can turn around and say, don't put money here, put it there, and we know better. That's what I mean. Like, I think we got to completely sever our organizing from them. And instead of waiting on them, we got to find our own organizing power to organize ourselves every day of the year versus just once every 4 years.
The only way it can work, Ben, is if Black elected officials leverage their vote. I'm talking about the political expediency of what we need to happen in America. Check this out. There's a lot of people talking about reparations right now, from moderate Democrats, FBA, ADOS, descendants of enslaved people of America, Black people, right? Just normal African Americans, normal Black people, whatever you, immigrants. Everybody's having a conversation around reparations. What nobody's really talking about is how it gets passed.
Doing what now?
How it gets passed.
Oh, how it gets passed. Okay.
The only way reparations and any of our other issues like raising the minimum wage to $25 an hour because we're $10 behind already. The only way that these things get passed is leveraging the black vote. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Hakeem, check this out. I understand that you're the chair of the, I understand that you're the head of the House Democrats, but we're not voting for that bill unless you add reparations to it. We're not voting for that bill. No, none of us. The Republicans will. But what do you mean? AIPAC gave you this money so you can know we're not voting for your AIPAC bill unless black people get reparations.
Look, that's first step. Well, number one, we need black politicians that don't take no money from AIPAC.
Well, yeah, that part. Like, what are you doing taking money from from a foreign political action committee? Like, and
one that doesn't have the black community at its interest. You're literally taking money from an AIPAC who has demonstrated anti-blackness, especially when we stood up for Gaza, and then they turned their energies against us because we spoke up for Gaza. They turned their energies up against Cori Bush because she spoke up for Gaza. They turned their energies up against Jamal Bowman, right? Anybody taking money, any black person taking money from AIPAC at this point, we can't support you. And I think that has to become a fundamental truth throughout the black community. I don't think we're too far from that because black folks are seeing, because of Gaza, black folks are seeing, oh, we don't want to be associated with that genocide. You got some Hakeem Jeffries in them who's still taking that money. But see, they're in the minority. And if we have our own political power, we can apply that pressure to them and say either you stop taking this money from AIPAC or you don't get our support.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, and AIPAC is digging deep. Like, they're digging deep in the black community right now. AIPAC has hired a local organizer in the state of Georgia.
Yep.
Right. And I saw the job position and I was just like, I'll be damned. And in the job position, guess what the description said? We need a local organizer to engage Republicans and Republican lawmakers. But also now they're talking to black lawmakers. You have no business. And it's interesting to me because isn't the Jim Clyburns of the world and all these aren't all these folks supposed to be direct political descendants of the civil rights movement?
I don't know what they're supposed to be. And Jim Clyburn been something.
Right. I mean, but what I'm saying,
I think they're more descendants of the Reaganism, 1980s, that pivot.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is they love to say king. I got a question for you, Pastor Ben, as a professional theologist. Is that a word?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah, theologian is the word. But
theologian.
Yeah, I work with theologists.
Theologists. Do you think Martin Luther King would have supported AIPAC?
Hell no. Hell no. Because if you look at the context of where he landed on every issue, he always sided with the oppressed. Period. He always sided with the oppressed, even to the extent of him losing support amongst black people when he sided with the oppressed people of Vietnam, when he opposed the war in Vietnam, right? And so that was one of the last things he did before they killed him. He opposed the war in Vietnam, and a lot of folks wrote him off. He had a negative approval rating when they assassinated him. And so he had already demonstrated before he died that he was willing to take it on the chin in order to defend the least of these. So there's no way in hell, no way in God's green earth, Dr. King would take money from AIPAC, period.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Do you think King would have pressured politicians to raise the minimum wage at this point?
Absolutely. That's what he was doing before he died, the poor people's campaign. That was the spirit of it. It wasn't the specific,
Okay, you ready for it? You ready for my next question?
What's the next one?
Do you think King would have had a black agenda?
Yes. I thought you were going to say reparations, but reparations as well as a black agenda.
Well, he spoke about reparations.
Yeah.
In one of the most famous statements that he ever made, right?
Come to get our check.
Yeah, come to get our check, right? So with that being said, right, when mid-January comes around next year, I don't want to hear no more about King from these politicians. I don't want to hear no more about anybody black that did. Stop talking about Harriet Tubman. You soft ass Jerry's. You soft Jerry's need to stop talking about Harriet Tubman. Because Harriet Tubman, General Tubman was a warrior, bro. You motherfuckers ain't warriors. Y'all are soft, man. These are soft people, and you're soft and bought off. You're soft, bought off, and already paid for when you're running for office. The cat who replaced Jamal Bowman, the cat who replaced Corey, they were bought and paid for before they even won the election. And now we got what, 4 more years of these people?
2 years if we do our job in 2026 for half of them.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, I'm looking at this right here, and I'm just thinking about how the Democratic Party can keep me, because I understand what you're saying about organizing outside of it, but there's always going to be this tie-in to Democrats, and this tie-in to Democrats is obviously led, sponsored, and paid for by AIPAC right now. This tie, just like the Republican Party is sponsored by MAGA Republicans and Tesla and Elon Musk and white billionaires across the nation. We have no political home. We have no political home. So why look? And what's going to happen, I want you to think about the names that we've heard so far for president next time around. We got Gavin Newsom and we got Rahm Emanuel. These are the people who they are already saying need to run for. You can't. No, bro. Fuck you mean, man? Like. So these are the major names I heard. And also, Vice President Harris, which, by the way, she's probably the most progressive out of all of them. What is this party offering me, bro, as a black man?
Well, to be sure, like I want to make sure we properly level set. They wouldn't be disbanding the Department of Education. They wouldn't be disbanding the Food and Drug Administration. They wouldn't be turning on our allies and putting tariffs on and messing up good. I mean, they're ruining the auto industry all over again just because.
Right? Just because they can.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot of stuff that we would be in a much better position now, even if we got the most neoliberal of a Democrat, because they wouldn't be institutional burners. So we're dealing with fascists who are dismantling the government, but that's not the conversation we're having right now. So I just want to make sure everybody we understand that component. But what you're saying is the people who lost to those losers, the Democrats, like there's a reason they lost. And there's a reason that they're still lost right now today. It's one, a lack of vision. And the reason they can't have vision is because they have been bought off by AIPAC, as well as the lobbyists, the rest of the lobbyists and neoliberalism and capitalism. They desire the corporate money. They desire that corporate bourgeois experience where they get to, rub shoulders with the rich and the elite. And they want to be able to do that from the perspective of being the party of the working class when they stopped being the party of the working class a good 40 years ago. Right. So that's which brings me back full circle. I'm gonna keep saying the same thing all night. I'm not interested in the Democratic Party coming to do something for me in order to try to catch me. They've already proven that they no matter what they try to sell us, they have historically sold us out. And they have historically sold us out over and over again, little by little, less and less each year. To now, we can even get the George Floyd justice. I forgot the full name of. We can even get that, right? Despite
Justice and Policing, right? Yeah,
Justice and Policing Act. Thank you. We couldn't even get that, despite the whole world rallying for it for an entire summer, despite the entire nation, despite lily white folks all over the world, all over America. Remember, all them white folks got beat up by the cops. Every black person, every white person who protested and showed solidarity and so much support from corporate America because they were phony at the time, saying that they want to be all of that momentum, and Democrats ain't do what they need to do to get that bill, even when Joe Biden got into power. So even the symbolism, we can't even get symbolism from them anymore. I don't think we should wait not another time and think and say, what can they do to get my vote for them to get me? No. It's to say, what do we do so that they have to come to us in order to even approach getting a black vote? Come speak to the Black Council, come speak to the Black power structure that we know how to organize, because we organize differently than Democrats, than honestly, than a whole lot of white folks, right? There's an organic, organized structure in the Black community that has been neutralized, that if we as Black folks reanimate, and when I say Black folks, I'm talking about those of us who are not in bed and locked in sync and in need of the Democratic Party. Again, my number one example for this is I look at what they did to when most impressive thing I've seen the Democrats do and Black folks do was when they snapped into formation in 90 days for Kamala Harris's campaign. They organized, they had a structure regimented, they had calls, they for a 90-day campaign, they organized that thing pretty good versus having 2 years like everybody else.
That's because it was.
But again, it don't come around but every 4 years. And if we had that type of power every day in the Black community, well, then the Democratic Party wouldn't be coming and say, hey, what can we do to bring you back over here to us? They would say, hey, we know we got to do this for us to even have a conversation.
Listen, check this out. What was more impactful that those people who were on that call should have probably done the same thing for was, let's all get all the Black fraternities, sororities, bougie, talented 10th on the call again and say, demand that the Black caucus say Chuck Schumer step down or Hakeem Jeffries, you're a sellout. It's time for us to actually organize around things that fucking matter.
Well, here's the good thing about this moment, though, right? Anybody who is reflexively, I think that's the word, defending the Democrats, they're already in a weakened power position. You loser for supporting these losers who are at 29%, even in the midst of the absolute worst performing president in the history of presidents. Donald Trump's first 50 days have been abysmal for the markets, have been abysmal for the working class, for the rich, for everybody suffering, and y'all still at 29%. So why are you reflexively why are people still defending Joe Biden? What that to me, I'm like, what for? What for? If there's ever a person that we can sacrifice right now and properly do so and politically disembowel him for what he did, who still has it in their blood to be like, oh, I got to defend Joe Biden? For what? When we think about Gaza, for what? When we think of how he sandbagged, if you really like Kamala, you had to notice how he sandbagged Kamala Harris, going out there to MAGA events, smiling with MAGA and putting on MAGA hats and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so the fact that we still got people who reflexively defend the Democrats and reflexively, it's because their money's involved. Obviously, they have jobs, they get money to do that. My thing is that we muscle them out of the way. Muscle them out of the way when it comes down to gathering our people together. I think that's first and foremost is the gathering of our people together, and to be able to gather ourselves together at numbers that the Black Democratic, the CDC can't do, not CDC, the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus. They can move a banquet, but can they organize Black America? No.
Yeah,
MAGA can go and get a barbershop and get a couple of Black churches and a couple of Black preachers, but can they organize Black America? No.
If they put the same effort into the Legislative Caucus annual gala than they did with organizing Black America in general, we'd be somewhere. Hey, man, you know what? Donald Trump's talented. He's the most talented president since FDR. What I mean by talent is he's so horrible, it's historic. He's talentedly horrible. He's spectacularly horrible. But guess what? He's spectacularly effective. Mm-hmm. He's the most effective president we've had since FDR. That includes Bill Clinton. That includes JFK. That includes Eisenhower, even with the highways. That includes Bush. That includes Obama. He is so effective. Now,
well, it's easy to be effective when your job is to just destroy, right?
Well, okay, but hold on.
Just go in and pull all the wires out.
Let me finish my point. You're absolutely right. Think about the people that the Democratic Party are right now saying, oh, he looks sexy for the presidential candidate. By the way, not asking one black person in the South, not asking one black person in Chicago, not asking one black person basically anywhere. What you need to win a Democratic primary until we leave, right? Do you think Vice President Harris, do you think Gavin Newsom, do you think Rahm Emanuel will be just as effective building for American people, fighting for American people, fighting for American values than Trump was for destroying? And the answer is no.
No.
The answer is absolutely not. They're going to be effective for trying to implement conservative values without Nazis being in them. That's the Democratic Party right now. Conservative values, Nazi free.
Yeah. Now, I put a premium on whatever your political identity is, if as long as it's Nazi free. But the Nazi free part gets a premium for me. I'm gonna keep it 100 because as many grievances as I have with the Democratic Party, and here's where you and I differ. If it's a vote between Democrats and MAGA, I'm voting for the Democrats because we've seen MAGAs, they are Nazis. We see MAGA is targeting black people. We see MAGA is specifically targeting black people, removing that veteran, that black veteran, who got that black Marine who got the Congressional Medal of Honor, and then they changed the URL to say DEI Medal of Honor, right? All the black federal jobs that are being taken away and snuffed out, all the opportunities, the entire history of black folks in the Department of Defense being erased, right? All for shits and giggles. The fact they just deported 300 people, and we don't even know if all of them were actually illegal, right? But they deported them to El Salvador, just for laughs and giggles. So I put a premium on not dealing with Nazis, but the most effective way for us to not have to deal with MAGA Nazis anymore is for us to sever black power from the Democratic Party, and we command them from the outside versus them coming and cut on an organizing machine every 4 years.
I think so. The first thing I said is like resilience and leverage from the Congressional Black Caucus and elected officials across the nation. The second thing is why I keep doing it, is running for office, right? Like we need a whole new breed of people who are willing to run for office, right? Just throw some names in the hat, right? And I think that, and I hate to be like this. Okay, you ready for it? Black people need to run for office as independents. Progressive black people need to run for office as independents. Just follow my theory. Mondale might disagree, you might disagree, but just follow my theory. Black people with progressive mindset that want to see a higher minimum wage, that want to see a jobs program, that want to see reparations, that wants to see the ending of AIPAC in black communities. You're not going to make it out of a primary. There's a high likelihood that you won't make it out of a primary. Maybe you will, but in the South, it's really, really, really hard. It's really hard to beat Democrats in the primary, especially the ones that are funded by Chuck Schumers of the world. Your goal needs to be make it to election day. Your goal needs to be to make it to election day. You have that much more time after a Democratic primary to push black agenda, black issues, working class issues, issues that help out pregnant women, issues that help out healthcare, issues that help out poverty in the district. This is just the idea right now. But people need to run, and I'm starting to think that they need to run as independent so they can make it to a general election and then have, because no matter what happens, if you can't make it out of primary, you're not even going to be around in the general election. It's like Bernie Sanders, but opposite, right? It's like being an independent but running as a Democrat, and he lost in the primary. But imagine if Bernie Sanders had ran as an independent. Think about that for a second. Imagine if he had ran as an independent. Would he have split the vote? Would he have? Well, I mean, that's left up the question.
Yeah, I mean, it would be what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, he would have split the vote.
Right. So what I'm saying is, in order for you to win, in order for us to get into office, right, especially in some of these contested places, we might want to think about running as independents. I can no longer do the status quo of good people losing in primaries to Democrats who are just outspending the good people, because there is so many corrupted money figures that are going to come out the woodworks every time a good person says anything on a flyer or a mailer. What the fuck is this guy talking about? He wants to raise the minimum wage. Hey, Chucky, go ahead and send Georgia $17 million so we can run some ads against this fucking fool. That's where we're at. My viewpoint, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but we need to start thinking. I'm thinking about different ways that we can actually change America for the better so that we can actually win some seats. Because at the end of the day, and you're talking to a guy who was at the DNC convention in Chicago when they kicked Nina Turner out, and when they screwed Bernie Sanders over, and when they looked at
that was in Philly.
That was in, I'm sorry, I said Chicago. Philly, I was there.
Yeah.
In person, saw the whole thing. Was outside with Nina Turner when it happened, when she went outside. And we got to do something different, because 2016 was 8 years ago, dog. We're about to go on 10 years of the same bullshit. We're about to go 10 years of doing the same exact thing. Even if we organize outside of the Democratic Party, we're going to have to actually have tangible people running for office all over the nation that's not rocking with the Democrats, but is willing to take away some of their votes and actually get to a primary where you can compete against these people, man. So you have enough time to beat a person. And have a smart enough politics. Look, a Republican, no, you can't win this district. Don't run. Just make it between me and this guy right here. Have some smart politics. But like, it has to be something different. And I'm spitballing here, but
well, and I mean, I know, again, I don't disagree with you. I would just, in my thought pattern is, where is it most effective and where can we get the most bang for our buck when black folks don't have enough bucks to compete at certain levels yet. All right, that's one of the things I think we need to reorganize and restructure, is to make sure that money flows are flow into a black delegation versus the Democratic Party. And then people black come to the delegation and say, you know, you should run as a Republican here in this district. This is a prime district to get a black person who's in favor of black people in as a Republican, run as a Republican. Over here, run as a Democrat, as an independent, right? And so they take the entirety of the decision away from all the parties. This is what I'm saying. Sever that thing from all of the parties and act locally first. Locally, get that commissioner seat, get that city council seat, get that school board seat,
get that mayor's race.
Get that mayor's race for every small town and every big town you can. Get that mayor race and answer to us, because who us is, right? Who we are, we would be the people who, even if we ain't got $1 million to run their race, we got $1 million of in-kind brilliance. We got $1 million of techniques, what you said, 5 ways to run for office without spending no money. You know what I mean? Like, we got the wisdom. We might not. And see, here's the thing: we run short on some dollars. And I saw somebody in the comment section said that they got the list. And I want to put that. We were talking about email lists. One, I think it was Tropical, say that they got a list. You got lists? Talk to us. Where they at? Let's get them and let's mobilize them before and outside of just pure electoral politics, but on everybody's day-to-day issues. And on the local issues that we can then collectively connect everybody locally. And we got our national movement that the Democratic Party will be brought to its knees in a good way, that they would have to come to us because we will control our own destiny politically. But right now, we're at the mercy. We're at the mercy of who has the money, who has the reach, and who has the platform. And unfortunately, is gate kept by a whole bunch of black folks who don't even have that power themselves.
No, they
it's being
don't.
held by the Democratic Party.
Listen, first off, that was a great idea. Like, even as Republicans, I thought about it in passing, but you just verbalized it perfectly. That's great. It sticks to my point. Two things. First off, like, when I ran for office in Arizona, I lost, right? I was running on reparations. And this was a very white, moderate Democratic area that I lived in. And who would have thunk it? But after I ran for office, you know what immediately happened?
What's that?
Our LD 27, the House district that I voted for, that I ran for, the committee passed reparations on their platform.
Wow. Good stuff, man. You impacted that.
Yeah. So and nobody even questioned it after I ran. Right? It wasn't even like, why are we doing that? It was like, no, in this area, we support reparations because that guy explained why. Oh, now I didn't win the race. And also, in hindsight, it's funny because I just posted something about running again. And there was 3 people from that district who was like, I didn't vote for you last time and I made a mistake. That's the first thing. The second thing is think about who stayed home from the last election. Think about how the numbers are dropping. Think about all the people who are not engaged whatsoever. And this is from the independent route. Think about the people who are just not engaged. They're not excited about going to vote for anybody. And then think about all the Democrats who was just like, I'm just going to vote. I was told to vote. I'm just going to vote. But I'm going to vote for a Democrat. But they've never heard your platform before. They never heard what you have to say before. There's ways that we can win these elections, people. There's ways, right? We get good people in office and then we hold these people in office accountable. But we shouldn't have to hold people accountable when they're representing our communities at this point. It should be ingrained in their DNA politically that this is what I'm doing.
Let me know when you're done. I don't want to interrupt.
I'm done. I'm done.
Doc, let me show you how let me choose my words carefully because I won't certain words I won't ever say about the black community, but this is a sad aspect. We don't even control the beauty supply stores in our neighborhoods. We don't control the chicken joints in the black neighborhood. Those control, love them, love y'all, the seasoning y'all put on it. But every chicken store I go to is owned by my beloved Arab brothers and sisters. I got to say it because, if I don't say it properly, they can come after me. I love y'all. But y'all are in our community. The beauty supply store owned by mostly our wonderful Asian brothers and sisters. Love y'all, but y'all making money. We don't control nothing in our neighborhoods, which is some of the same reason we ain't got no political power, because we have been outsourced. Every bit of our power, every bit of our goods and commodities and money flows has been outsourced inside our own neighborhoods. And so I think from the bottom up, we need people to start fundamentally. Is there a beauty supply store in your neighborhood that's not owned by black people? Do not shop there until it's co-owned by a black person. Is there a chicken shack in your black neighborhood and ain't owned by a black person? Don't eat there again until that money is split with a black partner. Make it happen or we ain't eating there. But see, we don't control even the most basic aspect of our destiny. And I think that's a core element of why we don't control any of our political power.
Well, I mean, so yes, you're absolutely right, because it would make it easier in this day and age for us to run if we have money. So yes, you're absolutely right. But I have to push back. No, it doesn't mean that we have to start economically. That's a big plus. And it also is just healthier for our community for us to have those things.
Yeah, what not economic? Yes, just let me amend it just a little bit. It's not that we have to, I would say start both and at the same time,
right.
And at the same time.
Right.
But it's not that the economics has to precede. It's the mindset. It is the realization, not even the mindset. It's the realization of just how fundamentally true it is that we as black people should own and control our own power, no matter what form that power comes in.
Because every other community,
and they do it so well in their communities, they come and do it in our community.
Right. I got a question for white Americans, white people who are in the chat room right now. This is a question for me. Do you guys agree or disagree That's what's better for Black America is better for America in general. Please, if you are in the chat room right now, I want you to respond to all my white people. And I don't care if you're Squirrel Gang, Trap Squad, or just a random white person, even the racist people that Ben has on his channel, and I probably got on mine, that hate us so much. I want y'all to answer this question. Is a Black community that's empowered, already has reparations, already has economic power, already has their fair share of political power. Is that better for America or worse for America? And then I want you to say why. I know this is not the ACT or the SAT. But
in 20 words or less.
In 20 words or less, I want the white people to answer why a Black America is better, makes America a good Black America.
You white folks is funny, man. You reading these comments?
No, I haven't, but I'm interested in it. We got to post some of these. I want to read them out real quick. Post some of them.
Nah. They all in. Absolutely. I mean, it's proven. It's economically sound. You cannot stimulate the lowest part of your economy without letting that trickle up. Trickle up economics has always been proven true. Trickle down has been proven to be false. So if you take the people who are at the bottom, getting it in the muck, down here, grinding from the very bottom, and you stimulate that part of your economy, we not only, and I don't want to say, because I know we're consumers, and then the first thing people say is that we go out and spend and we consume. Yes, but we're going to teach our people to do a little bit better. We're going to consume and hold back more. We're going to start investing more than consuming. But you can't, even on either end, whether we put it in the Y column of the domestic GDP product in investments, or if we put it in consumption, it absolutely stimulates the economy. And you cannot possibly do something for a Black community and it not reverberate to every aspect of America.
Listen, man, there's two things that need to happen in America before America becomes whole. And I've said this on the show before, and I want to say it again. And you remember me saying it. This is my big thought process besides Rep 1, which next time we get on Clickbaity, I'm going to bring up Rep 1 because I think it's a perfect time for us to actually talk about that, considering the conversation we're having right now. But with Whoopi Goldberg fingers, until you do right by Native Americans and Black Americans, America will fail. See, these white folks are blaming DEI, right? And you got to think about it. In Arizona, listen, I know so many tribal brothers and sisters in Arizona, man. Like in Maricopa County, there's tribal lands, right? In Maricopa County, right? Sacred lands. When you go hiking in some places in Phoenix, you will see there. I went hiking with a Native American brother who said, my ancestors drew these markings on this mountain 2,000 years ago. My ancestors. And I was like, not your ancestors. He was like, bro, I can show you. It's my ancestors. You see that little squiggly line right there? Somebody who was from the same tribe as me did that. Follow me. White people don't know the difference between what a Native American looks like and what a Mexican person looks like. Because you can't really tell the difference. I hate to be like that, but you can't really tell there's much of a difference. No, what I mean,
I ain't gonna go with you on that one.
Oh, no,
you ain't gonna give me the nod on that.
I need you to hear what I'm saying. If you live in northern Mexico and you're native northern Mexican who's a part of an indigenous Indian tribe, you look just like an indigenous Indian person who lives in America.
All right, that's what you said. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So here's my thing. There's a lot of brothers and sisters that are indigenous Indians from Mexico who are getting deported. There's a lot of indigenous Americans who are getting deported, they want to deport. But these people have been in our country before the white folks got here. And they're screaming out, and they're screaming DEI on these people.
Yeah.
They're screaming immigration on these people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, you're still doing the people who you came here and screwed over the first time. You're doing them wrong right now.
That's the whole point. I think that there's nothing. I think everybody, not just Black folks, but working class folks, everybody just needs to come to this realization. The whole point all along was to draw this out as long as they could, and then say, "Oops, we never meant to do. We were fooling you in the first place. Oops, on you. You're bad. You're bad." They never meant to deal right by us. The whole point was to undermine that power, to undermine those communities, to blame, no matter how big our achievements were, or to strip us of our achievements. No matter how much we build power, it's to come back and snatch that power from us. And so we're dealing with people who, of course, they will call indigenous populations DEI because they did not care that the truth was that they were here as a benefit, right? They are the privileged ones. They never intend on handling this thing truthfully. And if we continue to be surprised by how bad faith of actors we're dealing with, then they're gonna keep winning. I realized the fix was finally in. You know what I realized the fix was finally in? When Joe Biden didn't sign the George Floyd bill. I don't even know. I can't even really remember. Did it get to his desk?
I don't think it got to his desk.
I feel like there was a key decision that Joe Biden made early on in 2021 that sent off my red flags. I'm like, oh, you mean they never meant to do right by us in the first place. It's not that they didn't know. It's not that Democrats didn't know. It's not that Republicans didn't know. It's not that we had to explain racism to them. It's that they had already mastered racism, and they've been playing that mastery game for the last 600, 700, 800 years. And we keep coming back saying, well, maybe if we can explain it to them like this, when the reality is they know that. And they're working against us structurally because they studied that 1,000 years ago.
Right. And all to maintain uber wealth.
Yes.
All of it's to maintain uber
all
wealth.
of it.
Listen, nobody needs that much money. I used to trip out when people said we don't need billionaires, but we really don't need billionaires. Now, don't get me wrong, $1 billion in my hands is gonna go a long way. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with it. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do with it. First off, I'm sending everybody from Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap who watched for the first 4 episodes of this year, and for the past 4 years, I'm sending all y'all a stack. The stack. All y'all who've been commenting, I'm gonna go through the comments. I'm gonna email you, and I'm gonna send you a stack if I get $1 billion. Off top, just a stack. You get that money. Then I'm gonna knock my house down and rebuild my house and just make this irritatingly, and I'm gonna build a bunker in the ground. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build me a bunker in the ground. Then I'm gonna start a free lunch program in Atlanta, Tallahassee, and Jacksonville. Free lunch for 10 years guaranteed for every child that's in poverty in these cities. Then I'm gonna buy me a bicycle. And I'm gonna go ride a bike around and give homeless people out cash. I'm strapped, so don't try me. If you see me in the streets now, I got that thigh out on me. But like realistically, we don't need billionaires. And we're doing this all in the auspice of keeping poverty.
Mm-hmm. I need more than a stack, partner.
I need more than a stack, partner.
I hear that.
If
I had $1 billion right now, in the same spirit,
I would give y'all more than a stack. I would listen.
No, man, no. You structure it. You structure something where I would create an infrastructure where we could self-sustain ourselves digitally, using cryptocurrency across borders. That's what I do.
There you go. You can invest in Clickbaity. You can invest in the Big Dictionary. You can invest in Marcus Farrell Live on YouTube. You can invest, and you'll have a digital currency. We can do that shit anyway, though, man. Like this, like to be honest with you, with the nerds that watch our show, they probably gonna be emailing us soon. Like, bro, we can do that right now.
Listen, I'm looking for old dude said he got the list. If you got a list, I don't care if that list is 10,000 people. Let's start. We turn that 10,000 into 10 million.
Listen, guys, I wanna know why you haven't shared this on another channel yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how come you didn't go down and hit, I think it's over there, because it might be in reverse if you're watching this. It's down there, and hit that share button right next to that subscribe button, right? And how come you haven't shared this on X yet? How come you haven't shared this on Facebook and on Instagram yet? I'm just trying to figure out how come you haven't shared this link yet. Because if you haven't shared this link yet, especially the part about Marcus saying that when he becomes a billionaire, he's going to give everybody a stack that watch the show. I think a lot more people might be interested in watching the Clickbaity Political Thirsttrap show.
Man, that's the other thing. You know what? The other thing, man. if I had $1 billion, I would create an echo chamber for blackness so that all the high quality black folks that we know, we insert them into our echo chamber the same way Heritage Foundation inserts them maggots into their echo chamber, and they turn somebody who with 10 followers into somebody with 10,000 followers overnight, and then they turn them to somebody with 1 million followers, and they become a self-sustaining information node in the MAGA network. And the fact that we don't have that capacity anywhere on the, tell me where on the left we got any of that. Tell me where in the black community we got anything like that. There's not a platform out there that is a cross-pollination platform. Everybody got their own platform, which is cool. Congratulations. But what we need to be able to do is to take a Clickbaity and insert it into the platform, and then boom, feedback all those new followers, because we're using we're guiding our media as a positive sum enterprise versus what we do now. And this is what blows me away about the left. Everybody who's so progressive, everybody who is so leftist, everybody who is so ecumenical, they're damn near socialists, they're damn near communists. Okay, but we don't even share email lists. You got to pay somebody $10,000 to get an email list, to get an email out.
More than that now. They taxing for them email lists. Listen, go to the Twitter messages, and I'll show that tweet that I just sent you. And also,
Twitter.
Yeah, and then also go to, I just sent you 2 messages. We're gonna go one by one with each of them, and I think that they're just I think this is something that we should talk about real quick. Only because I'm not hating. I'm congratulating, right? I don't want to pull what was pulled on us when we first got started earlier this year. But if you could expand that a little bit. This is the online influencer space for politics right now. This is the online influencer space for politics right now. You see, Joe Rogan has 39.9 million followers. Joe Rogan, The Breakfast Club, the Young Turks come in at a 12 million follower list. And then the Breakfast Club has 11.4 million followers. I find that very interesting that the Breakfast Club is that Young Turks have more followers than the Breakfast Club, but I'm not even upset about that. Let's move around a little bit. Hassan Abi has 5.5. Let's see.
Got the majority report down here, 1.9.
Majority report 3.9. So we got some friends that are coming close. Ben, you would be a little dot on here too, buddy. If they did,
I'm a guy 900,000 away from making the cut. But you got the damage report, John. But overall, the message though is that we are dwarfed.
We look like America in the opposite when it's of the election day, right?
We look like a case of measles.
We look like
a case of measles.
We look like we're getting boxed out by Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley.
Blue-eyed, bloody nose. Blood just running everywhere.
Oh man, this is not a good sign. And I bring this up because it's like a lot of these folks spend a lot of money getting their platforms to where they are, and a lot of them are just trusted sources, and it looks like a disease heat map, and a lot of them. But let's look at the Republican. Let's look at the Republican side. Charlie Kirk with 18.6 million followers. Ben Shapiro with his ignorant ass, because Ben Shapiro is the smartest ignorant motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. Because he don't know what the fuck he's talking about a lot of the times. But he's a man. You
just gonna insist on cussing the whole night with Pastor.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I can't help it.
I be wanting to so bad, and then every time you say it, I get closer to saying it. You keep saying it, you're going to end up making me cuss.
I'm sorry, Pastor.
Help sustain my salvation here.
I apologize, man. It's righteous fury.
You look at this board, and you look at the one that makes me the most upset.
Candace Owens, 15 million.
Dude, she gets 50,000 people watching her live. right? And then she's starting to try to position herself as a voice of blackness, right?
That was a slick part right there.
Right. I'm looking at Jordan Peterson, not even American, 23 million, strung out almost every time you see him, just completely strung out, does not make a coherent argument. But it doesn't require coherent argument.
Would you say Jordan Peterson?
This is funded by money.
Jordan Peterson strung out.
Oh man, Jordan Peterson be hitting that was it benzos or some crazy stuff he be hitting. Y'all white people, y'all be on some different kind of drugs. Like we don't what's our boy from Chicago? What's the rapper? Dreadhead around me.
Waka?
No. Where he says
I said Waka.
What the nice boy, the ones who preach kid. Where the cat?
Oh, you talking about 3? Yeah.
Him 3, yes. 3. Him. Now I done forgot the line that I was using. But anyway, I'm looking at this and I'm like, the truth of the matter is we've been outspent. And I don't know if you remember. Let me go back to something. We said at an event that you hosted a panel in Chicago at that college, that community college. Mundell was there, I was there, and you called me up to the panel. And you asked, what do we need to focus on coming in the near future? This was like 6 years ago. I feel like it was before we did Clickbaity.
I remember.
And what did I say at that? I said media. I said if the Democratic Party and the progressive side don't start investing in media, we are going to find ourselves in a situation. And here we are in a situation where we look like a little bit of something between measles and the bubonic plague all at once, with MAGA medium just dominating. They didn't even invest. What drives me crazy is one thing if they're not going to invest in black media. Okay, we've been fighting that for a minute. But they didn't even really invest in Democratic, left-leaning, or progressive, or liberal, whatever you want to call it. They just depended on MSNBC.
You know, Ben, as I look at all these red dots, the measles on this right here, you know what I'm thinking about? The difference is very simple. First off, these shows get funded. And the hosts don't even share talking points. Follow what I'm saying to you. Some of them might, but for the most part, these are independent conservative thoughts, right?
No, they're not on this screen right here.
Well, check this out. What I'm saying is like this right here, aside from the racial stuff, right? Like, for instance, I don't think Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk are the same person, right? I just don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they're not. That's
but their core messages are the same.
But what I'm saying is they're not the same person. Like Joe Rogan is not going to base an argument in racism. That's something that he doesn't do. I'm sorry, he just doesn't do that. But he does have a conservative slant to all of his shit, and that's very fair to say, right? Matter of fact, Charlie Kirk, if you're not a racist black person that hates yourself, you're not getting on his show. You're not. If you're not. You know what I mean? Like you created you gave me a nuance there that I don't think I can argue with. I'm trying to sit here and think, have I heard Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan is not a racist.
An argument. No, I think he's racist, but I don't think he's ever framed an entire argument purely on racism. Charlie Kirk will get out there and say,
he's a conservative. Like here's the difference. There is a difference between being a conservative and now here's the thing. Does he support a racist? Absolutely.
She said, they said
tiny faces
aggressively racist. That's how you say. See, and that's the difference. That's why I can't argue. I can't argue with you because Joe Rogan don't do what Charlie Kirk do.
No, Joe Rogan,
I give you that. I give you that.
We would be falsely based if we said that Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk are the same person as Joe Rogan. Right? Yeah, like that's not.
All right, I'll give you that nuance, but the way I still would disagree because I say every single one of them go off the same talking points. They just delivered in their own levels of racism.
Well, here's what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying is the right, they don't put a leash on their money when it comes down to supporting things on the right. You have some moderate Republicans over here, and then you have some completely racist Republicans over here, and they all get following and they all get money. Just follow what I'm saying to you. On our side of the house, we pretty much see an even mixture of lefty, sort of lefty. I want to support conservatives, lefty sometimes, and also, but it's not like a lot of dots where the extreme left and the people who are talking about raising the minimum wage to $25 an hour, and the people talking about UBI, and the people who are talking about reparations, they don't have this size platform, even though this same amount of people would support these things if they were seen. And you know why? They're not platformed because the people who run the left don't want any difference between the right. They just want to be able to have the power to not help people. The shows that are actually talking about doing fundamental change in America
not on this page at all.
Aren't on this page at all. Clickbait is like a
except Hassan. Now I ain't gonna lie. Every time I come roll up on Hassan, he talking some pure left-leaning socialist stuff, and I'm like, I can't hate on the brother because you know he's pretty consistent. But everybody else on this page, and Sam seeded the majority of reports on here. And Sam does a wonderful, amazing job. But if you talk about like structural change, just outright call, you're right. I don't see them on this page.
You don't. But guess what? You see the extreme right on here. You see a lot. You see a lot of the extreme right. ICE just arrested immigrant rights leader Jeanette Vizrawa.
Well, you can't send black folks. You got to send some.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't even know what to say. We have to look it up and find out more about it, though. Thank you for sharing this with us, because a lot of the news is happening so fast right now, and stuff is changing. And see, this is the difference. This is why everything that you said, I got the same problems with the Democrats, and I know without a shadow of a doubt we have got to sever black political power from the Democratic Party structure. Without a doubt. But at the same time, man, we dealing with some Nazis in power that don't mind disappearing people to El Salvador. I keep saying in most country with El Salvador. We're dealing with people who have no regard for the Constitution. And I think that's all the more reason that we have to make an actual move. Like, you know, we've been talking offline, and you and I have talking. I've talked to Mundell. We talk to other folks. There has to be a literal move taken to do the work that Democrats can't do. And in us doing that work, we ain't doing it for them. We ain't doing it to surrender power to them. Because look what they've done with their power down. Like that would be foolish for us. I think we got to save ourselves as black folks, save our white friends who won't come along, but we got to look out for ourselves, and we got to put that political power in our hands so that we can show them how to stop these Nazis, man.
That's right. That's right. I do agree with you, right? I agree with you. It's just how we get there. It's going to be some interesting times, and I'm going to think about this. Hey, Clickbaity, asking for a shout out for my best friend and brother, Kai. Now, I'm sorry if I destroyed his name, but Kai. Shout out to my brother Kai. I did part of their eulogy this weekend. Check on your brothers and sisters, please. Learn what depression looks like and call your friends. You are absolutely right, man. Shout out to Kai. We don't know the situation, but obviously he's going to better places. Make sure you take care of yourselves, people. Make sure your mental health is good. Listen, I've been doing a lot of therapy, and it has helped me out so much that I have moved on from one of the worst situations that I went to a thriver and a survivor. And at points in December, that I thought about, even while doing this show, offing myself because of the mental health issues that I was going through caused by certain situations. But let me tell you something. Your life is worth it. People in the future that you don't know need you and love you and care about you. You don't even know these people yet. You don't even know that you might have a son or a daughter or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a best friend or a cousin that you have not met yet that becomes the most important person in your life. And you have to make sure that your mental health is okay so you can be here another day to thrive, survive, and meet that little one of yours that might be in your future, to meet that grandkid that might need your advice, to meet that boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or best friend, or wife that might be in your future. You need to be here for that. So love on yourself, man. I know this is not a mental health channel, but I need to say this. Love on yourself. Love on yourself every day, because you never know what's going on tomorrow. If something bad happened to you in the past, guess what? That's the past. Tomorrow is going to be so much better, man. Tomorrow, I promise you, tomorrow will be better. But you have to start by taking care of yourself. Listen, everybody can't afford therapy, but I'm going to tell you what you do. You go to YouTube and you just type in what's going on with your brain. And I guarantee you, if you're watching this show right now and you need some mental health help, go on YouTube, type in what your issue is, and there is over 10,000 videos that can help you maintain. They even have certain videos where, I mean, I have a therapist, but they have videos where they have good hypnosis, right? Like they have sleep videos that you just put on while you're trying to get some sleep that will hypnotize you into addressing whatever mental health issue that you have, and you're listening to this while you sleep. And I tell you what, if you're open to change and you're open to help and you're open to actually fixing your mental health issues, then make sure you take time to go and do something for yourself. And let me tell you something, when it gets the darkest of the dark, when it gets the worst of the worst, go take a walk. Go outside and just walk. Walk around that block. Do the most simple thing you can. And if you can't walk and you're disabled, then do something. Get in your wheelchair or get in whatever capacity you have and roll up the street. Get you some fresh air. Do yourself a favor. If you can't stand, go outside. Take your shoes off. Stand in the grass. And ground yourself. And get closer with what Earth provides you, because Earth will give you a healing energy. And also, the last thing that I haven't said, but I am on here with a theologist, is open up the Bible, open up the Quran, open up whatever your spiritual entity tells you, and read a couple of verses. You can go online and look up spiritual verses to help with healing from narcissism, spiritual verses to help with dealing with depression, spiritual verses that will help you deal with. And let me tell you something, man. You got my email. Email me if it get too dark. I ain't gonna give y'all my phone number. But listen, you don't need to take yourself out. That mental health is important. I'm sorry. Hey,
man. Hey, man. Let the spirit lead you. If the spirit move you, let it groove you, man.
Hey, show that last one before we go, man. Show that last tweet before we go.
The one I just put up, this one.
Africa is my space, and here I come. That's a little D'Angelo.
I feel that.
Blood of God is my defense, knowledge and wisdom. Come on, man. Did you put it up? You found it?
I thought this one, right? Which one?
Hold on, the one with Africa upside down.
Oh, hang on.
I said this. It's in the messages.
Oh, wait. In the chat. In the chat.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I thought you meant in our live chat. 2 seconds. I knew the song you were singing, but I didn't realize.
That's D'Angelo, y'all. Y'all need to go check out D'Angelo. That his the charade. I forgot. That's not the Voodoo album. It's his new album.
You got. So I'm thinking. Whitey not on the moon. I don't know why. Whitey on the moon is what came to my mind. We said Africa is not in space. Hang on. Here we go. Africa, and it is on your screen now. Let me zoom in.
Yep, I got this tweet from Anthony Browder. On the tweet, it says, your entire understanding of world geography is upside down because Europeans put themselves at the top of the map when they created it. Well, first off, let me tell you something. Some of the first map makers on Earth is from this place that we're looking at right now. This, my friends, looks upside down to you, doesn't it? Doesn't this look upside down to you? But you got to figure out, you got to think about something for a second. What direction, when the aliens come and they look at this continent, do you think that they might be looking at it from? Little thought process, little mental stretch for you. But the way that we even perceive everything on this planet has been corrupted by a certain system and viewed to make a certain group of people higher than other ones.
I guess it matters. I guess the only thing that matters is if you're looking towards the south or you're looking towards the north. But yeah.
But here's the thing though. When we're a ball floating around the sun, right? I want you to, Ben. I want you to expand your thought process on this one right here, right? Fundamentally, we're looking at Africa, and we all are thinking it is upside down. We know that globes and maps all across the world have disproportionately made Africa smaller.
That's the funniest part.
Yeah, then we're like, Africa is almost the same size as North America in some places, where you can fit Russia, Texas, a couple of other states, all of Europe, and a couple of other continents in that continent right there in Africa. Greenland is tiny, but it looks like it's almost the same size as Africa. I bring this up because everything is perspective, and everything is built off of colonialism, including what we're going through right now. This is the neo-fascist colonialism of America, and our perspective of it is about to shift. They changed up the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. They changed up. They're trying to change up and say that having fairness in workplaces is DEI. And they also, a long time ago, made us think that at the top of the map was Europe and North America. Well, what if I tell you that if we change our perspective, Africa is the top of the map? Just a thought, something to think about. You got anything else, Ben?
Man, I didn't realize we've been going this long.
Yeah, we had a good one tonight.
Yeah, man.
Let's go ahead and get up out of here, man. You want to end it, or should I end it?
Nah, man, you've been on fire, man. Go and close this thing out.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's all about perspective, folks. We went through love, happiness, health, and also money, right? Make sure you take care of yourselves, family. Make sure that you love on yourself every single day. Thank you for watching another episode of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Please like and subscribe and share this channel right now. I am Marcus Farrell, live on YouTube tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I will be with, I think 11 a.m. I will be with Savvy Sabs. We're going to be talking about this sort of similar to the same conversation. And we're also make sure you like and subscribe to the Clickbaity channel. And we're out.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight, unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Yeah, squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.